What's up, guys? Free Nachos here, back again with another Clair Obscur Expedition 33 boss guide video. Today's video, we're going to be tutorialing, that's a word, the Chromatic Hexga enemy, which is an optional boss found within the game. Gave me a little bit of trouble at first, but once I figured it out, it was fairly straightforward, so I figured I'd make a quick guide and show you guys how I did it. Now, first things first, if you have Monaco or if you have Mael, there are certain abilities that they have that allows them to pierce through enemy shields. This is a particular boss that generates a lot of shields for himself if you don't keep it managed. And if you have Monaco, he has a certain ability which can pierce through shields. And like I said, Mael, if you have those abilities, it's going to make your life a whole lot easier. And this enemy type in particular is actually weak to ice damage, so any characters that have ice, you're going to want to go ahead and equip those weapons, even if they're a little bit weaker, just because you are going to be able to hit those weaknesses. Now, when the fight starts, he does have shields on. You're going to want to make sure you just range attack those. So at the start of every turn where he has shields, go ahead and knock those down. And then as you are able to get some attacks in, you're going to progressively try to power up his crystal on his back. And after this round of attacking, you'll get to see what I'm talking about. So there it starts kind of white. The crystal is white, then it goes to yellow, and then orange, and then red. And if it gets all the way to red, he's completely invulnerable to any type of damage. He does take damage in the white, yellow, and orange forms, but I believe the higher it goes in the order, the less damage it takes. So here we've gone from white to orange, and I hit it right away. I'm not going to see any differences yet, but if you keep aiming at it, you eventually get a message, as you see on the top, the crystal is starting to crack. So that doesn't mean stop shooting it, that means you keep shooting it, which is going to allow you to build up stun at a higher rate. So he has kind of a big arcing sweep attack, which you just saw, and he also has like a triple combo where he attacks one player at a time with his weapon. But as you see, he was trying to generate power from his crystal again. I keep hitting it, and as you can see, he's broken there, he's vulnerable to attack. So this is when you want to bank all of those abilities, if you have them stored, and just kind of unload on him while you can. And just repeat this process over and over and over. And if you do have those characters with an ice weapon, even just using your base attack, you know, once you hit him with your ranged and take out all his shields, just hit him with the base attack. So that way you're banking AP points, so that way you have them later on when you are able to actually get them in a vulnerable state. Doesn't really have a whole lot of variety of attacks once you kind of learn the timing. I believe, dodging here, but you can parry as well for some extra damage and some extra stun. So now he's come out of his stun state, and now he's attempting to build up power again with this crystal. And again, I just repeat the process of hitting the crystal and then doing my base attack. If you have the any kind of mods that they call luminos that apply, you know, weakness or apply like mark or defenseless, you're going to want to go ahead and use those, because you're going to be using a lot of ranged attacks in this fight. And also, if you have their luminos that give you extra AP points, that's also going to be helpful, because you'll be able to use those extra AP points to shoot them with your ranged attack, shoot that crystal. So as you can see, it looks like we're almost all the way up to our stun meter again. Fire doesn't really do a whole lot to him. It's pretty much ice is what you're going to want to do mainly. I think if you do kind of regular you know, basic physical damage is also pretty effective, but definitely if you have ice, focus your time and energy on that. And here we go, he's out of his stun state again, and going back into his crystal ability where he builds up health. So if you don't manage the crystal, what's going to happen is he's going to be completely full of shields. He's probably going to have 5 to 7 shields, and he's going to have a red crystal, which means even if you get the shields down, he's going to be completely invulnerable. So that's at the start of every turn, that's where you're going to want to hit. And as you can see, we're kind of in the last 5 to 10% of his health. I think here I healed. Or no, I buffed my team just to make sure that I didn't lose anybody. I was trying not to lose anybody before the fight was over. I think this was my second or third attempt. It's the first time I found him in the world, and I just fought him regular. I didn't have the correct weapons on, and I wasn't doing hardly any damage to his crystal. So that's his triple swipe ability, that it can kill you if you get hit with all 3 of them in a series. So that's kind of the one attack that you're going to want to avoid. His big sweeping attack that hits the entire party, that's pretty easy to avoid. It's just kind of a wide arcing sweep that you can easily dodge. And at this point we have him marked, hitting him with ice attacks, hitting his crystal, wearing him down, and this is kind of the the very end of the fight. It does triple slam. Again, we're dodging. This was on the regular difficulty, it was not on expert, but definitely having a lot of fun with this game. I am making other Clair Obscur videos, so if you guys enjoyed this one, go ahead and leave a like, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.